The object of Fishermen Helping Kids with Cancer is to have an annual herring sale at the seafood auction up here, and all the money is dedicated towards improving the quality of life of the kids who are being treated for cancer at the wonderful oncology unit at BC Children's Hospital. Hey, I got through 20 on that. This young lady was the inspiration. We actually had our founding meeting at Canuck Place, and she told us, this is where I think the money should go. I was by fluke, I met a friend at a coffee shop in downtown Vancouver one morning, and this Brent Mellon, the skipper of the Prosperity, who gets our fish, and he said, you know, we should do something for kids with cancer. And in about 3 weeks, we put together a package and a herring sale that we first held in 2011 and raised $66,000. And every single penny goes to the kids with cancer at BC Children's. Now, 30 years ago, 80% of the kids who caught cancer died. Today, that's reversed. 80% of the kids live at least 5 years. But as you can see, it's still the leading cause of non-accidental death. Cancer for kids is still really tough. So we go out and catch herring. This is actually sardines, but you can see we set the net out and close up the net, and you get a whole bunch of fish in the middle, and then you pump it out. Now, if you've seen and have kids and you've seen Finding Nemo, you remember when Nemo dives down? And we often have to put a boat on each side because that can happen and capsize the boat, because we don't want to let the herring get away. They're not as cute as Nemo, and we need to turn them into money. Again, we're so closely tied to the Fraser. We forget in Vancouver sometimes how important the Fraser is, but it is the biggest commercial fishing port in Canada. This is one of our partner boats fishing, and you see all these heads in here. They're actually sea lions. And they're very pleased that we circle up all these herring and put them in a difficult place to get. And they swim over the top of the net and eat and eat and eat. And sometimes we actually have to let the net go to get away from the sea lions. This is the picture that John painted. Now, in our industry, there's always rivalry between seiners and gill netters and trollers. This is evidence that gill netters aren't scared of anything. You notice how calm they are. They're not worried at all. And I can see my friend Glenn, the seiner in the back, giving me the look. This year, one of the fears of kids with cancer is they'd be forgotten. So this year, we chose 3 kids to honor, and we call them honorary captains of the event. This is after we get the fish, we run it through this. This right here is called a dewatering, because otherwise when we pump the fish out of the net, we'd have a fish boat full of water. So we spin it out there, and then mostly fish, not much water, come down here and dump into the tank on the boat. And as you can see, this is a little box. If we have bycatch, other species and stuff, we can pull it out of there and throw it out. Then it goes directly into the hold. And you can see it's really a pretty automated process. A lot of guys standing around. It's not like gill netting. We really have to work. And I originally titled this one called Going Home, but my sane friend corrected me today. He said it was actually Going Out. And he says any saner would recognize that because of where the sun is and where Vancouver Island is. Anyway, I just think it's a pretty picture. We often enjoy, we get to go on the water and get to go on the Fraser, and it's a wonderful place. This is an honorary captain called Tessa. She fought brain cancer for 4 years. She died in 2012. So once the boat gets to the port, and it's just up here at the Stevens Seafood Auction, as you can see, we put sort of like a big vacuum cleaner, and we pump the fish out of the hold, and then the fish goes into the Stevens Seafood Auction, which is right down a few hundred yards, and we dump it on a conveyor. And you'll see in the next picture, we have a crew of gill netters, seiners, trollers, fish processors, and friends of the industry come on, and so they start at 5 in the morning, and they bag this fish in 20-pound bags. Now, when you think we catch 60 tons and bag it all in one day and sell it all, you can imagine how many 20-pound bags. And as you can see, we got a pretty ambitious crew. And this young fella didn't have anything to do with the fishing industry. He just said, I want to help, and showed up. And we, of course, dumped him into a lineup. I think he went home smelling a little more fishier than he expected. This was our lineup at 7 a.m. in the morning. And people show up at 5 and they're lining up. And I say, what are you doing here? Where'd you come from? And he says, Chilliwack. I says, well, we're really happy you're here, but it doesn't open for 2 hours. And so we figure about 5,000 20-pound bags in a day. And you can't have an event in Stevenson without a band. This is the Seabillies. They played for us every year for free, like all the other volunteers, for 3 years straight. And we look forward to them next November when we do our next sale. And that's a seine net on a pallet in the background. That's the type of net that we use to circle the fish. This is Nicole. She had rhabdomyosarcoma, a rare subset of it. She fought it for 3 years, and she passed away just a few weeks before our first herring sale. We remember the honorary captains through this, and it helps remember all the kids. This is my favorite picture. Part of the crew of volunteers from 2013, and you can see that check is for, I think, $68,000, and we've raised over $200,000 in 3 years for kids with cancer. And the boat, the fuel, the ice, the trucking, everything is donated. If you buy a bag of herring for $10, every penny of that $10 goes to kids with cancer. Thank you.